super funny, and there are other women here.
I'm just trying to get banned.
Canceled. Patrick, if you look like a narc, then what do I look like? Okay, I know that I look like a 50s housewife who's dipping in on some morphine from time to time. The fact that I am dressed and I am clothed and I am showered and have makeup on, you should all be very impressed. Thank you. Not without explanation, just it's hard being a woman. Let me tell you about the last 24 hours that I have had. Okay. I used the bathroom, got up, dropped my phone in my friend's toilet. This was last night. I was in Portland, flying to LAX the next day. I had to get up at 4 a.m., had already scheduled a lift for 4:15 a.m. for my 6 a.m. flight. My friends don't have a car. All right, so no phone, can't print my boarding pass, can't make sure my lift's coming. A little bit crazy. And I'm just thinking, like, you know, how disappointed would my ancestors be to know with all of this technology around us, without this one thing, I was like a sheep lost without its herd. Right? I was just like this pathetic thing, like, what the fuck am I gonna do? Because back then, our ancestors could, like, they had their village and they knew they had this insane spatial memory where they could find where other villages were hundreds of miles away just by walking, just by smelling, just by seeing, like, specific landmarks. Some of us cannot find our car in the Target parking lot. How do you think they would feel about us? One time, and our parents had fucking, like, maps, and they would look at maps. You know, and I've looked at it like a, you know, actual giant topographical map, and I'm just like, I don't understand it. What happens when you get lost? You're gone. You're missing. You have no phone. People just died, right? Just died on the middle of nowhere because they got lost. They didn't have GPS back then. You know, like, and my dad's like, okay, go north. I'm like, what the fuck does that mean? It's noon. The sun's up here. I don't know which way we're going. Just tell me, like, towards Taco Bell or towards CVS. Like, come on, throw me a bone here. Yeah, so we have, like, no spatial memory, I think, these days. Like, we don't have the use for it, right? We evolved out of it. I know one time I parked my car when I lived in Santa Barbara. I went to a bar, got drunk, could not find my way back to save my life. And the way that I found my way back was because I had taken a bunch of Snapchats. This is back in Snapchat. I had taken Snapchats of all the buildings around me, so I followed my Snapchats towards the car way back to my fucking car! It's a real fucking story! So my ancestors would be very upset. Okay, so going from Portland to LA, no phone, ordered a lift, where is it? It's almost like I was on, like, a 2021 quest, right? Like, okay, all your tools have been taken, you gotta get from point A to point B, people are gonna stop you, right? I had, like, the gatekeeper at TSA where she was like, put your electronics separate, And I was like, oh, that is electronic. She's like, separate bin. I'm like, you're saying the same thing over and over again. I don't understand. Just saying 2 + 2 = what? I don't know. Like, if I don't know the answer, you're not helping me. And then my Lyft driver was like this magical man who had, like, been in the army, but he was gay, and he had been to Hawaii, he'd been to the Philippines, who knew Tagalog, like, what the hell? And then so then I printed maps like it was the 2000s, you guys. I had to follow a map. And then on my way from LAX to my house, which was very difficult, even though I lived like 5 miles away, I met me and this guy. I walked past him. He was like, "You're gorgeous." I looked like a hot potato. I'd gotten off a plane, 4 hours of sleep, sweatpants. I did not look gorgeous, but I said thank you. And guess what? I walked away, and he didn't say anything else. That's magic right there. And it's always when you're having a panic like that some loose man comes up to you. You know a loose man. Maybe you guys don't know that. Teresa knows. You ever at the gas station and some guy calls up and says, "Can I have your phone number?" And you say no, and he goes, "You're a bitch," and you're like, "Okay." That's a loose man. It's a thing. So he and I are walking back to our cars separately. Thank you for being respectful, sir. And we see this black man talking to a white woman, and it looks like they're fighting. So literally, me and this guy who is Asian Pacific Islander teamed up to go fight this racist lady who was attacking a black man. He said he was black and Native American, he would like told me this stuff about how he got his chakras aligned, and I was like, oh my god, it's a wizard! Like, this is a quest! I'm Zelda! I'm somebody! Like, what the fuck is happening? Oh my god, so it was so magical. But like, this is literally, what does it say? Oh yeah. So when I was trying to find my way back home, like, it's so funny because, so I've only lived in LA in COVID time. So I moved here February 2020, and my whole life in LA has been COVID. So the only places I know are places where I was looking for parking, I got a COVID test, or I was protesting. I was protesting the BLM, not the other side. I know. We're safe. But so it was so funny. The moment that I was driving around like Beverly Hills, I was like, I don't know where the fuck I am. Somebody help me! And I see the 99-cent store, and I go, the 99-cent store! I know where I am! I know where I am! It was like when our ancestors, saw land for the first time on their 12-month journey, and they were like, it's land! I was like, it's the 99-cent store! They would be really proud of me. But you guys, like, this is my real life. Thank you. This is my real fucking life. Like, some of that maybe is a little bit embellished, but honestly, that's literally what happened to me. Like, who else has to get up at 4 a.m., can't have an alarm, order a lift, don't know if he's coming, has to get on a plane from Portland to LAX and then get home with no maps? Someone who's supposed to be a comedian.